There are things that happen that's unexpected. These are things that's out of your control. You couldn't really do anything about what's happened. Other trainees in that similar situation would struggle as well. So you're doing the best you can. I think the main thing here is to look forward and see how you can grow from that. The problem here, if you have this anticipation, feeling worried about it, you're going to amplify this concern in your mind. It's going to be worse than what it actually is. Take one step at a time, and then don't let these concerns and worries take so much of your energy and attention. I'll tell you honestly, you have got really good skills. During the 4 hours course that we did, your performance was among the top compared to the other people. I really believe that if you carry on and make small progress, you're going to have the right level to pass. So you want to give yourself good preparation. Don't try and run before you walk. Good enough is fine. You don't want for perfection. For mental health, you want to know a bit more about the social life, because it's usually something that would cause the problem as well, or be precipitating it. So yeah, I would want to know about alcohol, smoke, any recreational drugs as well. The other part here is the medical history. So the way I think about it is you've got three buckets. The first bucket is a medical history. The second bucket is the psychological. This is where you've got the health agenda. The third bucket is the social history. So you want to fill each of these three buckets. Some people focus too much on one bucket and they completely ignore the other buckets. We want to have a good level for each of them. Then you can make a holistic management plan. Ideally, for a mental health case, what you want to demonstrate is that your capabilities of making a safe assessment, your capabilities of assessing the problem and also excluding other possibilities. So, for example, in this case, could it be hypothyroidism? Could it be bipolar? Could it be PTSD because of the background that he's got PTSD before? By showing that you're making a safe assessment and thinking all of this, then you come to the working diagnosis. Then the examiner will see this candidate is making a good plan based on the safe assessment. They figured out this is the problem. So I think in this case, I don't think you specifically asked for suicidal ideas here. So make sure that you don't forget that, all right? Other cue here is he told you that he was in the army. So you see the information about the PTSD here. If you feel like there could be some other problems going on, you might want to ask, I can see you had PTSD. Have you been having any flashback or any problems like that? Just to see whether this could have an implication to his mood as well. Recently, I had a chat with Dr. Emmanuel Maberega, a newly qualified GP who failed the RCA 4 times, and he was given a last chance to sit the RCA, and this fifth attempt, he did things differently. And this is what he had to say.
When I was discussing about those areas where you're weak at, it was one area in terms of taking a focus history where I was faltering time and time again. So even if I was, like I said, you have to go within yourself and try and figure out how to overcome those challenges, but it wasn't something I was doing successfully on my own. And I think I'd seen your videos on YouTube. I had been just using them, listening to them. I think a colleague of mine also in my training program, went through your course, and I think I saw the interviews and things like that. And I think she found it quite beneficial. So I decided I was going to just, have coaching on that alone. And I can say that by the next couple of weeks, I was, I think my confidence skyrocketed because I could take the history in a reasonable time. Then I had all the time to do clinical management. So that was something I had to go outside of myself to kind of, seek help, get feedback on, practice. And that was quite useful for me. So I knew it was going to be beneficial for me. I think the only reluctance was if it wasn't free. So, but I realized that I needed to, um, invest in myself, to put it that way. Yeah. So it wasn't a reluctance. It was just like I I just had to do it.
Are you struggling with your consultation skills? Maybe you need help and you want to get constructive feedback. If you'd like to get help, then click the link down the description below to see whether I can help you. If I can help you, then we can enroll you on the one-to-one coaching program. It's good that you asked what was tried before, because then you actually made a plan as to persuade the patient to go back on the mirtazapine. The St. John's wort, I think you could actually give a little bit more justification why you don't think it's needed with confidence. The way that you went about it didn't feel like you are very convinced. So I'll show you how to do it. I understand that your friend recommended St. John's wort. With the medication that we can recommend, it's usually regulated and the dose specific. Well, you know, the St. John's wort, which is something you can get over the counter, we don't know the specific dose that you'll get because the strength in there can vary. And the second problem is that there is no robust evidence that it helps for depression. So that's why I would not recommend using St. John's wort. Instead, there are other alternatives which we could recommend. For example, I understand you have been tried with antidepressant that worked before, so we could go back on that, the mirtazapine. Or if you'd like, there is also counseling that could be helpful. What do you think about these treatment? So you see, I'm closing that option and opening other options to him. The way that you do it, it should be like you've done it many times. I think the way that you've done it showed like maybe not too sure how to approach that. Okay. And then the other problem came later about the medication for sleep. And that's probably something that you didn't pick up because he was drinking a lot, so then you advised later. So if you knew about the patient's routine and sleeping habits, then that would be more helpful to address the depression. So then I'll probably add, I understand that you've been drinking more. Sometimes people feel like alcohol can be a friend when they have got other people who left, or they don't have many people to talk to. Alcohol can affect not just your mood but your sleep. Do you think that you could cut down on the alcohol? So you see, I'm not saying him to cut down, I'm asking him which is better, because then I get him to invest in his health and he be bought in to get better. So then he will give me his response, and then I'll be able to make a plan with him. If I just told him you need to stop drinking, then it's not going to be very patient-centered. So now he can make an informed decision. If you found this video useful, then I'm sure you're going to get a lot from watching this video. Click the video to watch it. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.